Hook and intro. Have you ever felt like life was testing you, pushing you to your limits, making you question whether you had the strength to keep going? Maybe it was a setback you never saw coming, a loss that left you empty, or the crushing weight of responsibilities that made you wonder if peace was even possible. What if I told you that the answers you've been searching for aren't new, but thousands of years old? That there's a way of thinking, a philosophy, that has guided emperors, warriors, teachers, and everyday people through some of the harshest trials in history. That philosophy is Stoicism. Stoicism isn't about cold detachment or suppressing your emotions, it's about building an unshakable inner fortress. It teaches you how to find calm in the middle of chaos, clarity in the middle of confusion, and strength in the middle of pain. From Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire while enduring personal tragedies, to Epictetus, a slave who found freedom through wisdom, Stoicism has always been about mastering what's within when everything outside feels uncontrollable. And the good news is you don't have to be a philosopher to use it. In this video from Sculpted Grace, I'm going to share with you 12 timeless Stoic lessons that will not only help you survive life's storms, but thrive through them. Each lesson is a practical tool you can apply immediately, whether you're dealing with stress, heartbreak, failure, or uncertainty. If you practice these principles, you'll discover that every obstacle is an opportunity, every hardship a teacher, and every day a chance to live with strength and peace. But before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Sculpted Grace, and hit the notification bell, so you never miss out on powerful insights that could transform the way you see the world. Now, let's dive into these life-changing Stoic lessons. Lesson 1, focus only on what you can control. Have you ever noticed how much of your stress comes from things you can't control? We worry about what other people think of us, about the weather ruining our plans, about whether the economy will improve or collapse. And in doing so, we drain ourselves of energy that could be spent on what actually matters: our choices, our actions, our mindset. The Stoics believed that the foundation of peace is learning to separate what's within your control from what isn't. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about it like this: you cannot stop the waves of the ocean, but you can learn how to surf them. Fighting the storm is pointless, but steering your ship, that's where your power lies. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. You can't control their reckless driving. You can't rewind the moment. But what you can control is your response. You can explode in anger, ruining your mood for hours, or you can breathe, let it go, and move on with your day. That simple choice determines your peace. Another example: maybe your boss criticizes you unfairly. You can't control their words, but you can control whether you sulk in resentment or use it as fuel to improve. When you start filtering your thoughts through the Stoic lens, is this in my control or not, you'll notice something incredible. The weight of stress starts to fall off. The noise of the world quiets. And in its place, you find calm, because you're no longer fighting battles you can't win. You're investing your energy only where it counts within yourself. Lesson 2, accept the impermanence of life. One of the hardest truths to face is that nothing in life lasts forever. Relationships change, opportunities come and go, people we love eventually leave us, and even our own lives are finite. At first, this can sound depressing, but for the Stoics, it was the opposite. It was liberating. By accepting impermanence, you stop clinging so tightly to things you can't hold on to anyway. Seneca, the great Stoic thinker, reminded us to live each day as if it were a complete life in itself, not a rehearsal for tomorrow. Imagine how much lighter life becomes when you stop expecting permanence where there can be none. Instead of despairing at change, you learn to see it as the natural rhythm of existence. Like the seasons shifting, or a river constantly flowing, life moves forward whether we resist it or not. Think of someone who refuses to let go of the past, a failed relationship, an old dream, or even their youth. They become trapped in bitterness, unable to enjoy the present because they're obsessed with what's gone. Now compare that with someone who embraces impermanence. When a friendship fades, they're grateful for the memories. When opportunities close, they trust that new ones will arise. Even in grief, they hold on to love rather than resentment. A powerful practice here is memento mori, remembering your mortality. This doesn't mean being morbid, it means cherishing each moment because you know it's temporary. The coffee you sip in the morning, the laughter of a friend, even the challenges, they're fleeting, and that makes them precious. Accepting impermanence doesn't rob life of meaning, it gives it meaning. Lesson 3, turn obstacles into opportunities. Have you ever had something go so wrong that you thought it was the end, only to realize later it was the best thing that ever happened to you? That's the essence of Stoicism, the obstacle is the way. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." To the Stoics, challenges aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones. Think about Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Each failure wasn't the end, but feedback. Or consider a breakup that initially feels devastating, but later opens the door to personal growth and eventually meeting the right person. The obstacle doesn't stop you, it shapes you. Practicing this mindset means flipping your perspective in the moment of struggle. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "How can I use this?" For example, let's say you lose your job. At first, it feels like disaster. But if you lean into the Stoic mindset, you might see it as the push you needed to finally pursue a career that excites you. Or maybe you face constant criticism. Rather than crumbling under it, you treat it as training for resilience. Every challenge becomes a hidden classroom if you're willing to learn. The truth is, life will never stop throwing obstacles in your path. But if you embrace them instead of resisting, you transform frustration into fuel. What once looked like a wall becomes a doorway. What once felt like failure becomes a teacher. This isn't wishful thinking, it's strength through perspective. Lesson 4, control what you can, release what you can't. One of the most practical and freeing Stoic lessons is this: focus only on what's within your control. Epictetus taught that our true power lies not in external events, but in our responses to them. Most people live in constant stress because they waste energy on things they can't influence, like what others think, the weather, traffic, or the past. But think about it: when you place your happiness in the hands of things outside your control, you're giving away your freedom. A Stoic learns to separate what is up to me from what is not. Your thoughts, your actions, your values, those belong to you. Everything else, that's beyond your reach. Imagine standing in a storm. You can't stop the rain, but you can choose whether to curse it or dance in it. This principle has powerful applications in daily life. If a colleague treats you unfairly, you can't control their behavior, but you can control how you respond calmly, firmly, without anger consuming you. If the economy dips, you may not stop it, but you can control your work ethic and financial habits. Even in personal struggles like illness or setbacks, you may not control the outcome, but you can control your courage and mindset. Many people spend their lives wrestling with things they'll never change, while neglecting the power they actually do have. The Stoic mindset is a filter that removes unnecessary suffering. Next time you feel frustration boiling, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is yes, act with wisdom. If the answer is no, let it go. This is not weakness, it's freedom, the kind that allows you to walk through life with calm clarity while others are consumed by chaos. Lesson 5: Practice gratitude daily. At first glance, gratitude might seem too simple, but for the Stoics, it was a cornerstone of resilience and peace. Marcus Aurelius began many of his reflections by reminding himself of what he already had: a working mind, the ability to live by reason, and the chance to wake up to another day. In our modern world, it's easy to constantly chase what we lack: more money, recognition, or comfort. But this endless pursuit often blinds us to what we already possess. The Stoics flipped the script. Instead of focusing on absence, they focused on abundance. Gratitude shifts your attention from scarcity to sufficiency, from what's missing to what's present. Imagine waking up tomorrow and losing everything you take for granted: your health, your home, your loved ones. Suddenly, even the smallest things would feel like blessings. Gratitude is about noticing those blessings now, before they're gone. Practicing gratitude isn't abstract, it's a daily discipline. You can start each morning by writing down 3 things you're thankful for, even if they seem small: a meal on your table, a supportive friend, the ability to breathe. Over time, this habit rewires your perspective. Even in difficulty, gratitude finds light. For instance, when you face rejection, you can be grateful for the lesson it taught you about resilience. When life slows you down, you can be grateful for the chance to reflect and reset. The Stoics believed gratitude makes you strong because it shields you from despair. You stop waiting for perfect conditions to be happy and start realizing you already have enough to live with joy. In a noisy, materialistic world, gratitude is rebellion, it's choosing to be fulfilled where you stand. And that, the Stoics knew, is one of the greatest forms of freedom. Lesson 6. See setbacks as preparation, not punishment. When life hits us with one setback after another, it's natural to feel like the universe is against us. But the Stoics saw setbacks differently. They saw them as training grounds, as opportunities for growth and resilience. Marcus Aurelius compared life's challenges to a fire. The more fuel you throw on it, the stronger it burns. Think about athletes who train by deliberately putting themselves through discomfort. The pain of lifting weights isn't punishment, it's preparation, building the strength needed for competition. Life does the same to us. When you face rejection, financial struggle, or personal loss, it might feel unbearable in the moment, but those very trials are shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling what comes next. History gives us countless examples of this principle in action. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, stripped of freedom and dignity. Most would crumble under such circumstances, but he emerged not broken, but sharpened, ready to lead his nation toward reconciliation instead of revenge. In your own life, setbacks can serve the same purpose if you choose to see them that way. Lose a job. That might push you to develop new skills or finally pursue a passion you've ignored. Fail in a relationship. That pain can teach you patience, empathy, and what you truly value. The Stoics remind us, don't waste your struggles. Each one is a forge, shaping you into someone stronger. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? That shift in mindset is where resilience is born. Lesson 7. Find peace in the present moment. Stoicism emphasizes something many of us overlook: the present moment is all we truly have. Epictetus warned against being enslaved by the past or anxiously chasing the future, because neither is in our control. Yet this is where most people live, regretting old mistakes or worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. The Stoics knew this constant tug of war creates needless suffering. Peace, they taught, comes from anchoring yourself in the present. Imagine walking along a beach. If you're too busy worrying about tomorrow's tide, you miss the beauty of the waves in front of you. Similarly, if you keep replaying yesterday's storm, you fail to notice that the sun is shining now. Practicing presence is not about ignoring the past or the future, it's about giving your full attention to the moment at hand. When you're eating a meal, taste it instead of scrolling on your phone. When you're talking to a friend, listen deeply instead of thinking of your reply. Even in hardship, staying present can transform your experience. If you're anxious about a presentation next week, focus instead on the small step you can take today: preparing one slide, practicing one section. By living this way, peace becomes possible no matter the circumstance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." He wasn't dismissing ambition or planning, he was teaching us to find power where it truly exists, in now. When you anchor yourself in this moment, regrets lose their grip, anxieties fade, and life stops rushing past you. Lesson 8, focus your energy on what you can control. One of the most powerful Stoic lessons is learning where to invest your energy. Epictetus famously said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In other words, true power comes from focusing on what you can influence rather than wasting effort on what you cannot. Most people spend hours worrying about other people's opinions, global events, or situations beyond their control, and they burn out without ever producing real results. Stoicism teaches that mental and emotional energy is like currency, it should be invested wisely. Concentrate on your thoughts, your decisions, your habits, and your actions. These are your realm of true power. Practical application is simple but transformative. Create two lists: things within your control, and things outside of it. When stress hits, examine your mental chatter and ask, am I focusing on what I can change, or wasting energy on what I cannot? For example, you cannot control if a co-worker criticizes your work unfairly, but you can control your response, choosing patience, clarity, or calm professionalism. You cannot stop every financial setback, but you can control budgeting, saving, and investing wisely. By concentrating on actionable steps rather than abstract worries, you reclaim your power. Over time, this habit builds confidence, reduces anxiety, and allows you to operate with clarity no matter what life throws at you. Lesson 9. Use obstacles as opportunities. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Obstacles aren't roadblocks, they are the curriculum for growth. Every challenge carries hidden lessons that, when embraced, strengthen character and skills. Imagine a musician learning to play a difficult piece. The more mistakes they encounter, the better their technique becomes. Life works the same way. Struggles, delays, and frustrations aren't punishments, they're practice sessions for your resilience, patience, and creativity. The Stoics believed that suffering is not meaningless if we approach it wisely, and modern psychology supports this. Reframing adversity strengthens mental toughness and problem-solving ability. Think about your own life. Perhaps a failed project or rejected proposal feels devastating at first. But when approached with the Stoic mindset, you start asking, what is this teaching me? Maybe you learn better communication, or time management, or discover a hidden strength you never knew existed. Ryan Holiday often cites examples of entrepreneurs who failed repeatedly before achieving success. Those setbacks were their greatest teachers. In everyday life, you can practice this immediately. Next time something goes wrong, pause and ask yourself, how can I use this challenge to grow? What opportunity is hidden here? Over time, you'll notice that setbacks become stepping stones, each challenge shaping the person you are becoming rather than breaking you. Lesson 10. Embrace change as part of life. One of the most liberating Stoic lessons is the understanding that change is inevitable and resisting it only causes suffering. Heraclitus, a pre-Socratic philosopher, famously said, "The only constant in life is change." Stoics teach that instead of fighting the flow of life, you should anticipate it, accept it, and adapt with grace. Think about seasons. Winter cannot remain summer, nor can chaos remain calm indefinitely. The Stoics recognized that every transition, whether joyful or painful, is an opportunity to practice resilience and cultivate perspective. By accepting change, you free yourself from unnecessary frustration and anxiety, and you gain the mental clarity to respond effectively to whatever life brings. A practical application of this principle is to pause and reflect whenever you face a major shift, like moving cities, changing jobs, or experiencing a relationship ending. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? For example, losing a job may initially feel devastating, but it could provide the push to pursue a passion project, upgrade your skills, or discover a career path you never considered. Similarly, a breakup might feel like an ending, but it creates space to focus on self-growth, new experiences, and stronger future relationships. By viewing change not as a threat but as an essential part of life, you reduce resistance, maintain inner calm, and transform potentially stressful experiences into meaningful growth. Lesson 11: Practice gratitude and perspective. Stoicism is not just about discipline, it is also about cultivating appreciation for the present. Seneca emphasized the importance of gratitude, writing, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." Gratitude is a mental reset that shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from lack to recognition of what already exists. When life feels overwhelming, simply acknowledging what you have, health, relationships, knowledge, even small comforts, can profoundly change your mindset. Gratitude allows you to see obstacles as temporary, hardships as teachers, and life as an opportunity rather than a burden. Practical application includes daily journaling or reflection exercises. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you are grateful for and why. For instance, you might note appreciation for a supportive friend, a moment of quiet reflection, or the simple fact that you woke up to another day. Pair this with perspective. Ask yourself, how will this problem matter in 5 years? What lesson can I extract from this difficulty? Even small frustrations like traffic, delayed emails, or minor disagreements can become opportunities to practice patience and gratitude. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to focus on abundance rather than scarcity, reduces stress, and increases emotional resilience, allowing you to approach life with calm clarity, regardless of external circumstances. Lesson 12: Align actions with your values. Finally, the Stoics emphasized that a meaningful life is one lived in alignment with your deepest values. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Living in accordance with your principles gives clarity to decisions, courage in adversity, and confidence in daily life. Without alignment, even success and achievements can feel hollow. When you act in accordance with your authentic self, every choice carries purpose, and setbacks no longer shake your inner foundation, they simply test your commitment to your values. Practical application starts with identifying your core values. Take time to reflect. What matters most to you: honesty, growth, compassion, creativity, or independence? Once you know, evaluate daily decisions through this lens. For example, if integrity is a core value, you might decline a lucrative opportunity that requires compromising your principles. If growth is central, you might embrace challenges that expand your skills, even if uncomfortable. When faced with tough decisions, ask, which choice best reflects who I aspire to be? This consistent alignment creates internal peace, reduces regret, and builds self-trust. Over time, people around you notice your authenticity, naturally respecting your decisions, and your life becomes a reflection of who you truly are: purposeful, resilient, and guided by virtue. Outro: the Stoic path forward. Stoicism is not theory, it's action. The ancient Stoics changed the world quietly, mastering themselves before influencing others. These 12 strategies, from mastering control, perspective, obstacles, gratitude, reflection, pause, focus, values, mortality, change, and alignment, form a practical blueprint. Now that you've discovered these 12 timeless Stoic lessons, take a moment to reflect. Which of them speaks most deeply to where you are right now? Maybe it's learning to control what you can, or embracing change, or remembering that even pain is temporary. Whatever it is, know this: Stoicism isn't about cold detachment or emotionless living. It's about building an inner fortress, a strength so steady that no storm can shake it. So the next time life pushes you to the edge, remember Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, men who faced wars, slavery, exile, and loss, yet found peace by mastering themselves. You can too. Start today by practicing even one of these lessons, and you'll see your mindset begin to shift. And if you found value in this message, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Sculpted Grace, and share it with someone who needs strength right now. Tell me in the comments, which Stoic lesson will you start practicing today? I'd love to hear your journey.